Hey guys, Steve here for Who Took My Dice Miniature Wargaming. In this episode 3 of Age of Nurgle, I'm going to be looking at both the Poxwalkers and the Fetid Bloat Drone, sorry. They're two of the other units that go along with the Lord of Contagion and the Plague Marines we already looked at. So Poxwalkers are pretty cool. They are sort of, I think, taking over sort of the role of the Nurgle zombie type thing, right? So we get down to the nitty gritty. They're a troop choice. They're power 3. So you see these guys aren't very tough, and they're not strong, they're not tough, but they have their own place in there, right? So they're movement 4. So I guess it's supposed to show kind of the shambling motion of them. Weapon skill 5+, ballistic skill 6+. Ballistic skill really doesn't matter. I don't have any range weapons. Strength 3, toughness 3, 1 wound, 2 attacks, leadership 4, and a 7+ save. I have no idea what that means with 7+ save. I'm sure it's in the rules somewhere. Might have something to do with having an extra chance to live. I'm not sure. So you have 10. You start off with 10. You can now include up to an additional 10, and each one is armed with an improvised weapon, right? So it's a melee weapon. It's very basic. It's strength user, damage 1, no abilities, right? What really gets them is their abilities. Really, sort of the Nurgle portion comes back in. So, like all the other ones, they have disgusting resilient. So on a 5 or 6, you ignore the wound. They have something cool called Curse of the Walking Pox. So each time an enemy infantry model, just a single model, is slain by a Poxwalker in a fight phase, an additional 1 model is added to the unit. So basically, when they kill a unit, they transform him into one of them. Which to me is actually a really cool way of maybe even making your own Poxwalkers. Get this unit and then just take different units or different models, excuse me, from other things and make them look diseased and zombified, which is really, really cool. I think it's a cool way to kind of put your own spin on these guys, right? That's really cool. Mindless is another one. This unit never has to take morale tests. So let's wait till leadership is 4. It doesn't matter. These are basically just zombies. You take one down, the rest don't care. They're just going to keep coming after you. And then they have one called Diseased Hoard, which is really cool if you have more than 10 models. So you can add one to all hit rolls for this unit in the fight phase if it contains more than 10 models. Basically, you're not saying that they're not hitting better. I think what it really represents is that they're just so many clubby weapons and clawing hands swing at you. You can't avoid them all. They're gonna hit, right? So that's the Poxwalkers. Again, the faction keywords and keywords: Chaos, Nurgle, Heretic, Astartes, Death Guard, Infantry, Poxwalkers, right? I think they're pretty cool. I've seen a picture of them. They're pretty nasty looking guys. They all look kind of zombified. They're all carrying various weapons that are in some form of decay or another. They're pretty cool. I like them. I think they're an interesting add-on. And they're what I wouldn't let. Sure, I can't talk today. I wouldn't consider them a throwaway unit, but something more of a what's the old school term? A tar pit. A unit slams into them. They may take some wounds. Hopefully that 5 or 6 saves them from taking too many. And then they're just stuck there. They don't care about morale. You're not going to have more of them run away. They're just going to stay there, get stuck in. Really nasty. I don't know how much it's going to stop something like, say, a Primaris Marine, which will actually probably do quite a bit of damage to them. But other things, if they come up against Guard, you're going to see this thing explode. Just numbers as they go up, as the guards start getting chewed up and turned into diseased, zombie creatures. It's really nasty. So that's the Poxwalkers. Not a lot to them, but very, very cool. So, I printed everything off here as usual. Didn't think I'd bore you with looking at it, though. So the Bloat Drone, now this is cool because it is a vehicle. It's a fast attack choice. It's power 10. And it does follow the same sort of trend with vehicles. There is a sort of a damage chart to it. The more damage it takes, the worse it performs. So movement and strength both have a star to it. And that refers to the damage table. So I'll give it the stats at its best. So it's movement 10. Weapon skill 4. Strength 6, toughness 7, 10 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 8, and a 3+ save. Now that's at its best. That's when it has its full 10 wounds. It has a Plague Spitter and a Plague Probe. So Plague Spitter, and this is where it's really cool. It's one of those special, really cool things. I think this thing's going to be a pain in the butt in the battlefield for a number of reasons. One, so the Plague Spitter, it's got a 9-inch range. So this is up close, which is sort of where the Death Guard usually are. It's Assault D6. It's AP -1. The strength is as user. This is where it gets nasty, though. The weapon automatically hits its target. You can re-roll wound rolls of 1 when attacking with this weapon. So it's like basically, it's kind of like, it feels like it should have been, back in the day would have been a template weapon. It's just spraying out contagion and goo, right? But maybe something sort of like acidic as well for the -1 AP. That's the Plague Probe, which is a melee weapon. It's AP -2. Damage is D3, and again, you can re-roll wound rolls of a 1 for the weapon. Sort of the trend again we've seen. Abilities, it is disgustingly resilient. Well, I can't talk today. So on a 5 or 6, you don't lose the wound if you take 1. It is demonic. Right, it has a 5+ invulnerable save. So if that comes into play later on with Grey Knights, whatever they have, who knows? And here's what's really cool. Even if you do manage to wipe out this thing's 10 wounds at toughness 7, it's just going to be rather difficult. I mean, bolters will be wounding on a 5 or 6. It's got 10 wounds, though, a 3+ armor save, a 5+ invulnerable save, and disgustingly resilient. So it's going to be hard to take this thing down. But it's a special rule called Putrid Explosion. So if it's reduced to 0 wounds, on roll of D6, roll D6 before removing it from the battlefield. On a 4+, it explodes, and each unit within 7 inches suffers 1 mortal wound. So if this thing is down to its last couple wounds, get it in close. Try and get it around as close as you can to as many enemy units as possible, and hope you lose your last couple wounds, because that means all those units are going to take a mortal wound. There's no saving that. Now, it's not a lot, it's 1 wound, but it makes a difference, right? Keywords, you have Chaos, Nurgle, Heretic, Astartes, Death Guard. That's faction. And keywords is Vehicle, Demon, Demon Engine, Fly, Fetid Bloat Drone. So this thing can fly, which does come into some of the way different. It can go over enemy units, I think, and I don't know if there's a minimum or maximum movement to it. It usually, apparently that's going to be a thing. Flying units are going to have a certain minimum unit they have to go. I'm not sure. It doesn't say here. But again, with the damage on this thing, depending on the wounds, it moves slower, it's not as strong, and it has less attack. So when you get down to 1 or 2 wounds, it's only moving 6 inches, it's strength 4, and it only has 1 attack. 3 to 5, it moves 8 inches, strength 5, 2 attacks, and from 6 to 10, it's what I said, 10-inch movement, 6 strength, and 3 attacks. This is really cool, and I'm not sure. Obviously, this is just the one you're going to see in the starter set. I don't know, maybe there might be units of these. Maybe there's other options. I don't know. This seems like it's really cool. This does go back to one of the Mechanicum vehicles. I don't recall the name of it right now, but it looked a lot like this. It had sort of turbines, some cool underslung weaponry, and obviously this Bloat Drone is one that a Nurgle demon got into and has been infested and turned into a weapon to further Nurgle's desire to see the realms of Ultramar rot and fester forever. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Alright, guys, so that's the look at these two, the Bloat Drone and the Poxwalkers. As of yet, I haven't seen anything for their sort of standard bearer, the big bell, or exactly what that Psyker is going to do. Obviously, it's a Nurgle Psyker. Not sure what he's going to do yet. I'm looking that up. But as always, thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, hit the like button. Share it with your friends. And obviously, subscribe if you haven't. Always love adding more people to the community. Love sharing this information with you guys. Love to see the interaction. It's fantastic. And if you want to help the channel in a more personal way, I do have a Patreon page now. So you can go there and help support this channel, help me get better equipment, more products to review, and so on and so forth. As always, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate you all, and as usual, keep rolling those dice. See you later.